Hello and namaste, my beautiful friends. I'm Jill Loftus of Nuit Astrology. Welcome to your planetary energy forecast for the week of May the 6th, 2024. Now, there are some lovely aspects this week, and I think a pretty bright, abundant, positive new moon as well. And so I feel like this is a little like nice green tar and balm on some of the events and anxiousness and intensity of April. Now, I do have one little caution flag up for the week, and that is the fact that Mars traveling through Aries is now going to begin to touch some of the points that were activated over the last couple months. Particularly this week, early in the week, it's going to come across the same 5-degree Libra mark that was the site of that lunar eclipse in March. On March 25th. So take a look back in those journals and see if you had anything big happening around that time. This Mars energy will sweep through and activate those points. And so this could be a trigger, an activator. So I want you to be a little careful, cautious with that. Now, as we begin the week, some lovely Sun-Saturn sextile energy is forming. Now, sextiles are just a little bit of luck and blessing. It's something you have to take advantage of. You have to see and seek and make the effort to really receive the blessings of. So as we move into the new moon on Tuesday, the 7th, we're in that flow of the nice Sun-Saturn. So really great. Now, I will give a little caution. There's a very long moon void on the 6th, 1:57 a.m. Eastern, all the way until 5:42 p.m. Eastern. Now, the new moon is at 11:22 p.m. Eastern on the 7th, all right? So it's at 18 degrees, 2 minutes of the sign of Taurus, if you know your chart at all. But with this lovely contact between the sun, the moon, and Saturn, this one has some real sticking power from that Taurus to Pisces area of life. So I would even be more cautious of what you hold in your mind, and keeping that mind in a positive mindset, in a more high vibrational state might be a little trickier, because basically all week Mercury is walking still with Chiron. Chiron representing that part of us that doesn't feel like we fit in, that we're accepted. It feels like the outsider. It feels like we're broken or not whole in some way. And so watch that the mind is directed to the higher vibrational states. Another thing to notice about Mercury is that by the end of the week, it's going to come into contact with Eris, the goddess of discord. So this could be very aggravated mental states. So other than dealing with the very fiery mindset, and watch that your mouth and your mind are not spewing that fire, right? Process, absorb, make wise, set wise patterns, mental patterns and verbal patterns, or texting patterns, or however it is that you're communicating. But just keep those in mind. As the planets begin to stack, there gets to be a nice little stellium in the sign of Taurus. Now, on Wednesday, we have another like a busy Taurus moon kind of situation. And so the moon stays in Taurus those couple days. And so I would highly recommend, in addition to setting intentions around money, finances, value systems, enjoyment, food, pleasurable things, those kinds of nice things. It's a marvelous kind of get some body work kind of week. And so go ahead and schedule your massages ahead of time if you can. It'd be a wonderful week for that to take place. Now, as we begin to get the sun closer to Uranus, it starts to get a little bit erratic, right? So sun moving towards Uranus. Jupiter's already moved on, but at those kind of last degrees at the sign of Taurus, we have that like really pulsing energy of the sun and that Uranian freedom breakthroughs, breakthroughs, and Jupiter, which of course makes things bigger, all pulsing away at the end of that sign. So especially if you have anything in the fixed signs around 21 to 26 degrees, you could really feel a lot of activation. Now, I would embrace Tauran ideals. I would slow down. I would enjoy your food. I would clean out the fridge. I would sign up for a local food share. I would go to the farmer's market. I would plant some seeds. But then again, it's my birthday week and I'm a good Tauran. So that's how I like to embrace those ideals. But what you have to watch is the shadow of Taurus, which can be laziness. It can be just keeping going, plodding along, even though it's not working for you anymore. That classic bull in the china shop. It can be that awkwardness because you're not paying attention. You're not looking up or looking around. And so watch that you embrace the higher ideals of Taurus. And then I will say also on Mother's Day in the United States, that's Sunday the 12th, there are some lovely Cancer moon aspects. So it'll be kind of like a very touchy-feely kind of day. And so definitely reach out and offer some appreciation to anyone who has nurtured you in this life. Now, as far as the light for this week, the high vibrational things, well, I'm really digging this new moon. I think it's a wonderful, auspicious new moon. Depending on the time zone for you, make sure you can take advantage of it. I would give it at least a couple minutes after the 11:22 p.m. Eastern time so that it has a little bit of momentum, and make sure that you're not trying to do those things on the 6th, especially with the moon void all day. So I think this is a fantastic new moon. I would also lock in that positive Sun-Uranian energy. So there could be something sparking up. There could be a potential breakthrough, a potential shocking synchronicity, a magical event. It could have to do with something that's important to you. Take a look at the Taurus area of life and just be aware of the magic afoot in your life. Now, it's not going to complete until next week, but the energy's building. So feel into that. And then I would also say that Sun-Saturn, wow, Sun-Saturn, lock it in, do the work, be inspired. Pisces Saturn, right? It's just all about doing the deep inner work. Now, as far as the shadow, the low vibrational things to avoid this week, well, I'm keeping an eye on that Mars. I just feel like Mars in Aries is just going to be potentially lighting some fires. And so I'm going to be a little careful, cautious, definitely going back in my journal to see what was happening for me on the eclipse. I would also watch out for like the wounded child archetype because of that Mercury Chiron, in the sign of Aries, which at its best is adventurous and in the shadow can be very immature. I would watch out for that wounded child. And if you do realize that wounded child lives within you, which for all of us, really, there are wounds that are there from childhood. Care for that little one, nurture that little one. I often have people who are struggling with self-esteem find a picture of themselves from childhood when they remember being happy or at least look happy. And put that picture on your bathroom mirror, and every day go out into the world and look after that beautiful little soul that still resides in you. Work on healing them, but try not to operate from that woundedness. And then finally, shadow Taurus. And I mentioned those things before, but don't get too stuck. Don't get complacent. Don't be lazy. Don't get lost up in indulgences, right? That Jupiter is still pretty close there. And so there could be very much a Bacchus kind of vibe, right? The more the merrier. Bring the wine, bring the cheese, right? Bring the birthday cake. All right. So I hope you have a wonderful week. I am really excited about this week. Really looking forward to some smooth astrology to help start kind of picking up the pieces from last month for sure. Let's take a look at the Isis Lotus Tarot. And if you found this useful and helpful, please comment below. It helps the channel to grow. I really appreciate any comments that you can leave as well. And I'll see you in the tarot.
Hello, my beautiful friends. Namaste, it's Jill from Nuit Astrology. Let's take a look at the Isis Lotus Tarot spread for the week of May the 6th, 2024. We've got a super groovy new moon coming up. It's about time. We could use a nice new moon, couldn't we? All right, let's take a look at the week. And if you're familiar with this, then you know, but otherwise, yeah, this shows two different ways that you can work with the energies. The cards form the lotus flower and give you two potential outcomes for the week. So clarifying, this reading is for the collective. So the cards know it's not just for me. Alrighty. So the first card is the basic influence of the past. So it's kind of like where we're coming from, and it's this sense of lack, Five of Pentacles, you feel left out. You feel like you don't have enough money, not enough time, you're not in the right place, you don't know the right people, like you just feel like you're having to beg for, just even the basics. So kind of an uncomfortable card here. And then there's you, Three of Pentacles, trying to build something. Even in this state of lack, you're still taking what you have and trying to build your future. So it's a very future-oriented type of week. Now, the environment you're in, Page of Pentacles. A lot of pentacles here for this lovely little Tauran week. But the Page of Pentacles means, that you are in this kind of state of wanting to start something new. You feel like you're moving the right direction, but it's very idea-oriented. And as these come together, Six of Cups energy indicates maybe it's based upon something from the past, a nostalgic feeling of something that, a previous goal or something coming back around, which makes a lot of sense, especially now that Mercury is direct. Even though it's still in the shadow, we're finally getting some traction on some things. And the key card of the future is this Six of Swords, which indicates you are moving in the right direction. So trust that goodness. Now, the opposite energies in play, we've got Emperor energy. So this is very much about decision-making, calling the shots, yes, no, clarity all the way. And then on the other side, we've got the Nine of Wands, which is more of an indicator of pushing something across the finish line. So you're either in this initiatory phase of making some big major decisions, or you're in a wrapping up phase and you need to make a final push. So think about that as you think about the week. Now, near future card, Four of Swords. Be ready, but not yet. So this could be an indicator that that there's still some preparatory measures that need to be taken. This could be an indicator that you have to wait for the right timing. You can't just surge ahead. So take note of that. And then the modifiers for this, well, on the Emperor side, we have Justice. So very karmic card coming up. This idea of weighing out your options, making decisions, calling the shots, but also doing it with almost like this deep impartiality, okay? So think about it that way. And then on the other side, with the Nine of Wands, we have the Empress. So this is something creative, fertile, a new beginning, a launching, a gestational type of birth energy. Very interesting. Now, also on the Emperor side, paired with Justice, Three of Cups, reasons to celebrate, wonderful, reassurances, emotional reassurances that you've made the right call once you make the decision. Over here on Nine of Wands, Empress, well, we've got the Moon. This has a lot to do with women, with mothering, with nurturing, with there being intuitive senses of things. So this is, it's like keep moving, be ready to birth the thing and intuit what the right timing might be. Now, our two possible progressions or outcomes, well, on the Emperor side, we have the Eight of Pentacles. So acquiring new skills, make sure you take some time to read, to study, to prepare for this new beginning. It's almost like once the decision is made, you wait out your options, you get the kind of interior signal or exterior signal. Hey, this is really coming together. You get that feeling. Then you start putting in the hours, putting in the sweat equity. Now, on the other side, the Nine of Wands, here we have the Seven of Swords. So there's a risk of loss here. And I would feel because of the Four of Swords, the presence of the Four of Swords, you might be wanting to jump the gun too soon, go after something too soon, and then take a loss. Now, over here on the Emperor side, once we get through Emperor, Justice, Three of Cups, and the Eight of Pentacles, we end up with the Four of Wands. A perfect situation, the perfect environment. Also, on the other side, Nine of Wands. Well, you're pushing through, right? You're trying to wrap something up, but then you're told, pause, take a break, hang on. There's some more creativity that needs to be poured into something. There's more intuition and understanding that needs to be poured into something. And you have a risk of loss if you go too hard, too fast. And then the 10 of Wands shows up and says, hey, yeah, don't make it harder than you need to. Don't make it harder than you need to. So I feel like these are both energies of, that are really helping us, support us in this new moon, but also saying, hang on. I mean, I think part of that is the fact that Mercury is still in shadow. I think that there's also the abundant blessings coming later in the month of the meeting of Uranus, and Venus and Jupiter and the sun. So there's just a lot of, there's a lot more information coming. So it could definitely feel with this new moon, it could be like, yeah, let's 100% dive in. The cards are suggesting, hang on. All right, hang on a little bit. On the Emperor side, for something new, you've got to like gain more skills. You've got to learn more things. You've got to find the right environment. And on the other side, it's more about you have to have a little bit more of a process, of creative process, or else you could really miss out on what you've already worked so hard to achieve. So hopefully this is helpful and useful. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week. Bye.